Today's lesson is on angles. We're going to start with just the basics. So in the past 2 days we've been talking about notation. And remember, notation means kind of the symbol that is used. And then we're also going to go over the types of angles, which I'm sure you already learned before. So we're going to start with a basic angle, and I hope that everyone knows that this is what a basic angle looks like. Okay, and we're going to talk first about the different parts of an angle. So we have an angle here. An angle is made out of two rays with a common endpoint. So remember, we talked about opposite rays. Opposite rays, remember, look like you have a whole line, so two rays that make a whole line. So it looks like this. Here's your opposite rays. Okay, an angle is the same thing. It's made out of two rays with a common endpoint. And so we're going to name this day. D-A-Y. Okay, so the angle is made out of two opposite rays, like I said. It also has to have 3 points, which is why I named it D-A-Y. And then it also has something else, which is important right here. The common endpoint is called the vertex. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to name what these are using the proper notation. So the two rays that form this angle are right here. So we have AD, and then we have ray AY. So the angle is made out of two rays. Again, the common endpoint right here, the A, point A is your vertex. And then the 3 points that make up the angle is called DAY. So points D, point A, and point Y. So these are the parts of the angle. Now, how do you name an angle? What is the proper notation? Okay, we're going to come back here. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Okay, for an angle, you can actually name the angle 3 different ways. So we're going to go back and draw the angle day again. So we have D, A, and Y. Alright, when you name an angle, the proper notation is that you're going to use an angle sign. So it looks like a less than symbol. And then you want to name the letters in order. The vertex has to be in the middle. So this one, if you start at one of the ends, would be angle D, A, Y. So angle D, A, Y. Now you can also go the other way, and you can have it go in the opposite direction, and you could say YAD. So it would also be angle YAD. But the important part is that the vertex has to be in the middle. Otherwise it's a different angle if it's not in the middle. Another thing that you might see when you're doing homework or something is sometimes they put a number on the inside of the angle. This is the inside of the angle right here. So sometimes they'll put a number in there, like maybe 3, 4, 1, 2, something like that. Let's put a 3 in there for fun. So it might say angle 3. So those are the different ways that you can name an angle using the proper notation. Alright, the last thing we're going to take a look at then are the 4 different kinds of angles. Now I'm pretty sure that you remember all this, but let's get it down just in case we forget, because these are going to build into something bigger. Alright, so the 4 types, let's start with the small one. So the one that we've been drawing like this is called an acute angle. Okay, an acute angle. An acute angle's definition is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. Now I like to remember this because we have something that I want to share with you. So this here is a picture of my cats. And if we look at Chloe here, right here, Chloe is the one on the right. Chloe's the little one. She is a cute little cat because she's littler than Jordan, right? So Chloe is a cute little kitten. She's little. She is less than 90. Okay, now Jordan, on the other hand, okay, Jordan's something different. Jordan is an obtuse angle. So if we draw an obtuse angle, which if you remember, an obtuse angle is an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. So this is obtuse, an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. Okay, so you can think of that as, obese. Obtuse is obese. So here's Jordy right here. Good little Jordy. She's a little bit on the heavy side, a little thicker. And so she's thicker, she's bigger than 90 degrees. Obtuse. There, now you get to meet my cats. Alright, next, the last two then. The next two actually are pretty easy, and you probably remember. The good old 90-degree angle. So this is a right angle, and a right angle is equal to 90 degrees. And the last one, which we've talked about, but we named something different. We said these were opposite rays. This is actually also called a straight angle. And a straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so those four, the obtuse, the right, the acute, and the straight, those four, we need to remember. We're going to build off those. We're also going to learn how to measure them by hand during the next class period.